Hello, this is Jeff, and this is part 6 of the C11 Donkey Kong tutorial. Let's see, let's catch up with what I did a little bit in between episode 5 and episode 6 here. So first, let's take a look at the video header file. And so if you remember, this is the header file for our video generation system. And so I made a couple changes. So on the background control block, I added some new fields. I added a Boolean, which tracks whether or not this particular tile is visible when it's blinking. The blink timeout, so this is the next time we're going to cycle the blink visible flag, and the blink duration, so how long in between turning this tile on and off. Now, this is not 100% what we need. This is missing some stuff because there's a couple cases where the duration changes and whether it blinks is conditional. So we're going to need to enhance that, but the basics are there. And then what I did was I added a video BG blink function. So this takes a Y position, an X position, a height and a width, and a duration. And so what this function does is this function loops through, so it gets the current ticks from SDL, and then it loops through the tile control blocks for that rectangular range on the background. It sets the blink visible initially to false. It sets the duration, and then it calculates what the next timeout will be. So the ticks are current milliseconds elapsed since the program started. So we're taking that, and we're adding our millisecond duration to it, and we just loop through those blocks, and we set that state on the blocks. And then in video reset background, I also reset the blink stuff. And I think, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then if we look at BG update, so again, remember, this is our kind of our main function that goes through the background control table. It loops over each one of those and decides whether or not something has changed on that background block. If it has, then it's going to update the background buffer that we have, the background surface that ultimately gets copied into onto the screen. So what I've added here, I pulled out some stuff into some local variables to kind of tidy some things up a little bit. But if the block has a blink duration that's greater than 0, and our current ticks from SDL, so again, this is the number of milliseconds elapsed since the start of the program. It takes, I believe if you look at the SDL documentation, if your program runs for 29 days straight, I believe this will roll over. So if the current time is greater than the timeout on this block, then we're going to mark it as changed. We're going to set the new timeout to be the current time plus that block's blink duration. We're going to toggle, right? So the way to read this is assign blink visible, not blink visible. So if this is true, then it becomes false. If it's false, it becomes true. And then if the particular block is not visible, then we set the tile as hex A and the palette as F. This is our kind of standard black blank block for the background. And that's it for turning doing the blinking. Okay, so what does this end up looking like? So let me run the app. I'll have to drag this over here. So you can see that the 1-up now blinks because this is what the original arcade does. You also see that occasionally the word help appears over here. So eventually, Pauline's going to be standing here, and she occasionally does a little shuffle and cries for help. So she's a sprite, but the help is actually part of the background, and it just turns on and off. Now, when I said originally that the implementation here is not quite right, what I was referring to was help, because now it's a duty cycle. It's a perfectly matched duty cycle, right? It's off for the same amount of time that it's on. And if you watch the arcade, that's not the case. It's on for a relatively short duration because it's on for the length of the animation, roughly speaking, and then it turns off for some period of time and then comes back. So, but we're going to work on the actors more today, and we're going to add callbacks on the actors. And once we have that, then we can kind of control the blinking for the help a little bit better. So that's what this ends up looking like. And then, you know, obviously with our video BG blink, right, we can specify any rectangular area on the background that we want to blink. And that's the whole idea. So it just makes it really easy. So eventually if we had player 2, we'd have 2 up, you know, we could have 2 up blinking and 1 up not blinking and all sorts of good stuff. So, so that's that. And that's really pretty much, I think, the only major changes I've made since we last talked. So I think the right thing to do now, like I said last time, is to work on all of our actors. We might not get all of them done during this episode, but hopefully we'll get a fair number of them done. So I have my my cheat sheet here of all the tiles. I really should write a little program to go through and like paste numbers on these, but so we already have Mario walking. We don't have Mario climbing yet. We could do that. So so we have Mario standing left and right, walking left and right, jumping left and right. We could have Mario anim, Mario climb, and then anim, Mario climb, end, I guess. And then we have anim, Mario, hammer, walk left, anim, Mario, hammer, walk right. And then we have Pauline. That's the name of the girl that Mario's trying to save. Oops. Yeah, so Pauline does this little dance where she shuffles her feet. I don't know, maybe we call it Pauline Shuffle. So then we have anim, barrel, roll right, and then anim, barrel, roll left. Anim, barrel, stacked. So then we have Donkey Kong climb ladder. And we have Donkey Kong roar. And we have him throwing a barrel. Yeah, we have Mario dying. Then we have bonus scores, so there's tons of bonus scores. And we have the fire. Okay, so let's go to the C file for those. And let's do some of the, we'll come back to the Mario stuff. So remember, we're going to define our actors, and then we put a address of those in our list, right? So we know what actors are valid that go through the actor update. So we're going to create the oil barrel. Let's do that first. And the X on that guy, I don't know. He's going to be like 30 something, and a Y of because this just is in one place all the time. Actually, let's look at state machine. And where do we put Mario? We put Mario at 32,224. So 224 is probably about right. Probably want to put Mario a little bit more to the right of that. Okay, so then we add him to the list. And okay, so now let's create the oil barrel animation. Now this is kind of, remember correctly, sometimes we have animations that are single frame that qualifies as an animation. So this is going to be oil barrel. Idle. There's going to be one frame. We don't have to set a delay. It is one tile. And that tile is 29, 130, 131, 132, 133, 134-ish, I think. So the way that the tiles, there's 256 possible sprite tiles. I think that's right. Or no, I'm sorry. Let's, I don't remember. Let's double check. It's not here. Here it is. 128, sorry, my bad. Half of what I thought. So it's 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. Somewhere in here, I think. Not sure which palette it's going to be. I'm going to guess it's palette 2. We might have to look at our palette cheat sheet to decide eventually here what palette's the right one. But that should help us get something on the screen. And I'm going to say, since the oil barrel only ever has one animation, we can just set those ahead of time and we don't need to change them. And then the other thing is the fire, right? Because Donkey Kong throws down a barrel that has gas in it, presumably, or fire, I don't know, somehow it gets ignited. So we'll have another actor called oil fire actor. Actually, let's call this actor fix our names here. That way we can just call this anim. Okay. So the oil fire itself is going to be at the same X position, but probably we'll do it 16 pixels up. And the animation on this, I believe, is going to be a 3-frame animation. So this is S oil fire. And so frame count 3. We'll say the delay is 33 milliseconds-ish. And then if I look at my tile cheat sheet here, the oil fire looks like it's 63, 62, 61, and 60. So we'll have the delay be slightly different in between, and there's actually 4 frames here. So I'll have this be 61, 62, and then 63. And we'll have to adjust timings and things. I'm just picking values for now that seem like they'd be about right. Okay, so we have our oil barrel actor and our oil fire. Now we've added those to our actors list. So now actor update knows about them. So then in our state machine, in our kind of our test state, we need to grab the oil can or oil barrel actor by calling the actor accessor and passing in actor oil barrel, which we didn't do. So let's go back and do that. So remember, this is the way that we get the actor pointer to the outside world. So the outside world can't see our static module level variables. Same thing with animations. And you might, wonder, okay, is there a better way to do this than to have a huge switch statement that I have to keep updating? And you could probably restructure this code so it's a bit more like offset based, maybe, where you have an array of animations and then the animation enum value is an index into that array. You certainly could do that. But I like this approach just because it's explicit. And so for learning purposes, I think it makes it a little easier. So we don't have these animations set up yet. So there's nothing to assign to them, but we can put placeholders here. So actually a couple of them we do have. So this one could be the address of S oil barrel animation. And this one would be oil fire. So as we implement the others, we just have to remember to come back and change the pointer assignment here so it's the right thing. Okay, so we have the oil barrel. And we don't have to change the I don't have to change any of the other values. The only thing we have to do is enable it. Because I believe our Mario actor I'm not sure where we set him to enabled. Oh, I see. I never actually checked for it. So right now the actor, yeah, okay, we should probably check for that. If actor flags and F actor enabled is 0, Then we're going to continue. So that means we also want to enable our Mario too. So that's the oil barrel, and then we also need to get the oil fire. And again, these have already been preset with animations. We don't need to do anything special there. They should just start animating in their loop. So let's compile that and run it. Okay, so I'm not seeing our stuff here. So let's put a breakpoint here. Ah, okay. Yep. So I did forget to make a change. I never increased actors max. So there are 3 actors now in our array. You know, one thing we could do here, instead of having a constant, we could do a, you know, if it's null, so we just won't have a condition here, and if the actor coming out of the list is null, then we'll break. That way we can just keep adding actor pointers into our list, and the null just keeps pushing down as the last entry, and we don't have to worry about updating that constant anymore. Okay. So we're still not seeing our actor here. Ah. That's interesting. Okay, so there's another, this should be oil fire. Okay, so this should be our Mario guy. All right, so this is our oil barrel. So our X and Y position is 224 for Y, X is 32. Our tile is 70, and we're enabling that sprite. And this is the oil fire. Okay, there we go. So we still have Mario on here, but our oil can and the fire is not showing up. And that could be because I just counted wrong. Because there's a bunch of blanks here, so if I miss it, we're not going to see anything. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Seven, 58, 59, 61, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 67. Okay, so 67, 6, 5, 4. Right, and then 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73. So 73. Still not seeing a can. Mario's fine. Okay. Let's put a breakpoint here. This is Mario. This is the, ooh, that's interesting. I think I'm pointing at the wrong animation for the oil fire. I am. Copy and paste coding. Oh, you get you. Okay, so we got. All right, so we're just we're off on tiles, so you can see we're getting into the wrong tiles here. So we're close, but yeah, we're off by 1. So as usual, right? This is a common occurrence. So we're off by 1 on the high side, meaning that this is not, I miscounted. So this is like 66, 65, 64, 63. So now let's run that. There we go. Now I've got the wrong palette. So we'll have to figure out which palette is the right one there. Maybe palette 1 is the right one for that, possibly. Yeah, that looks much better. That looks more like fire. So let's make this a little bit slower. Seems like we're getting a blank tile in there. And there is a blank here. So let's do this. So I'm changing that block just because I think it reads a little bit cleaner in my head right now. I'm going to temporarily set the frame count to 1. So it is this bottom frame. So 64, 65, 66. I think I may be missing one in my data. My tile ripper may have accidentally skipped one. Yeah, I think it did. Okay, so we'll have to fix that. Although, if that were the case, wouldn't all my other tiles be off by 1? They might be, I don't know. We'll get a little clever for temporary. We'll do an H flip on it to kind of give it a little bit of variety. There you go. Okay, so we've got, let me pull this over here so you can see it. So we've got the dumpster fire going there. And I think, yeah, I think my tile rip was off by 1. I think my tile ripper did not get this last tile here. So we'll have to fix that. That's written in Rust. We'll do that in the next episode. So then I think this is 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. So everything's off by 1 because I skipped that one, or the tile ripper skipped that one tile. So let's fix that. Okay, there you go. Now, keep in mind that this background is not the background that the barrel and the fire typically appear on. The background these appear on, the girders are cantilevered. So they're going to overlap with the background a little bit on this. That's okay. None of the actors are going to fit 100% on the screen, except when we get Donkey Kong climbing up here. Now the palette on oil is wrong. So I think, oil should be white. So I'm looking for, blue, and so blue should be in the last position. Yeah, I think it's this one here. Or this is a repeat, right? Is there another repeat? No. So it's like palette 12. There you go. I think that's close. Maybe. Closer. And let's do this. Let's move the actor over a little bit. So let's move this over, move this to 16 and 16. So it's not so far over on the right. Again, it doesn't match the background perfectly, but there we go. Not too bad. All right. Yeah, I think that's the right palette. Maybe. Okay. So now let's do the bonus actor. That's going to be easy. And I got to remind myself, I'm cutting and pasting. So we'll do the X and Y as 100 and 100. We won't set the animation because this will have to be, we want to do this in code. And then for the bonus animations, so let's do, I think the bonuses stay, but we'll play a little with this. Let's do a 4-framer, and I'll kind of, hopefully you'll see where I'm going with this. So if this is 72, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 81, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 2. Oops. One 120. 23, I think. And then the palette, I'm gonna guess, I don't really know, is, well, we'll just do palette 1. That's probably not gonna be right, but that's okay. You'll kind of see where I'm going with this. It's going to be the same tile, but the Y offset's going to go up a little bit each time. So it'll float up. All right, let's try that one. Fix that. Okay, so then here, grab the bonus and yeah, I guess what we should do is So we'll set the animation on our bonus to be bonus 100. So I don't see the bonus, which means I probably got the wrong tile. All right, do we have a bonus? No. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't enable him. Helps if we enable the actor. Still not seeing it though. I accidentally ran it twice. All right. So let's see what that looks like. So this is actor. This is Mario. This is the oil barrel. This is the fire. This is the bonus. Okay. So X and Y on the block is Y is 100, X is 100. Tile is 125, palette is 1. So if I do that, I still don't see it. So I'm getting flashes like I'm overlapping frames. right, so if we say the frame count's 4, so while it's less than the frame count, we can increment it, which is not right. That's actually not right. There we go. Now it's not flashing anymore. See, I thought originally the fire, I was just seeing things, you know. But nope, I had a boo-boo in my array index there. I'll do it every time. Okay, so no more blinkies. That's good. But where's my bonus? I'm not seeing it. So let's, is it just a tile? So let's take a look at sprite.c. So 127 is totally blank. So is 126, 125. That could be a problem. So the 95 is the first sprite at the high end that we have. I have no idea what that is, so let's just put 95 in here. And looks like in episode 7, we're going to be fixing my tile ripper. Okay, so you can see what's happening, right? We've got that sprite, and it's doing what I wanted, except it's just the wrong tile. And so that's the little circle tile. It's this. Ooh, so yeah, we're missing. This is, everything over here is empty. That's not good. Okay. Well, that's a bummer. Okay. So let's, we can at least get the timing and the movement closer to what I think it should be. There you go. So it's not the right tile, but the idea is when you have a bonus, right, it'll be 100 and it'll float up. Now, here's what we're missing that we need to add. So we can do that, and then in episode 7, we will work on, we'll revisit my tile ripper, which is written in Rust. I know this is a C tutorial. I suppose we could rewrite it. So we could rewrite the ripper in C. Yeah, I never got this far on the Rust side, so it's yeah, it's not surprising that this is a little off. But here's what we're missing on the animation stuff. What we need is when an animation finishes, possibly, we need a callback, or maybe not on the animation, but on the actor, right? So if we go to our state machine and we copy this type def for our so we're going to call this actor anim callback key, and this guy gets an actor t pointer, maybe. So remember, we have to forward declare here so that this type can be used in this type def. So then what we would put here is our actor anim callback, and oops. So there's our animation callback. So the idea here is what? A couple things, right? If let's change the actor animation. We pass in the actor pointer, the animation we want, and now, because we can just set the animation callback, right? We don't have to, yeah, we can just set it. So I think by default, on all of our actors, it'll just be null. Okay, so we set it by default to null. Then in our state machine, to demonstrate what this is going to be, static bool bonus animation callback. And this is going to get an actor t pointer. No, yeah, that's what it is. Actor. Return false. So what we're going to do here is on our bonus, we're going to set the animation callback to bonus animation callback. And then in the animation update, right here, where we would wrap around, we're going to say if actor animation callback is not null. So actually, we'll go ahead and reset this, but so if it's not null, we're going to call animation callback, passing in, we have to pass ourself in. This is an OO. So if it returns false, then we're going to set the actor's animation type to anim none. We're going to set the actor's animation to null. We've already reset the frame. And actor next tick is 0, actor actually I think that's it, right? Yeah. So we do have to check for null here now. So we come in here and if we're within the animation, we increase the frame. Once we've gone through the frame cycle, we reset the frame to 0. We check to see if there's a callback. We execute the callback, passing in the actor pointer. If that returns false, then that means that the callback is telling us we're done with this animation. Don't repeat it. So for all intents and purposes, it's like a one-time, although it's up to the callback, right? Maybe the callback keeps track of something, it lets the animation run 3 times, and then it returns false, or however the callback wants to handle that. And then we reset the animation state here. Then we just check to make sure we still have an animation when we fall out of this loop, or not loop, this if block here. Because if we've reset, then we don't want to do any of this anymore. Okay, so then in state machine, just as, again, as an example of how we could possibly do this, not that this is the way we would actually go about it, but let's put 4 on user data 1 for the bonus. So when we get our callback here, we're going to decrement data 1. So if actor data 1 is greater than 0, decrement it, and in this case, return true. Otherwise, return false. So we get the callback, we decrement, so we go through the loop once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and then after that, then the animation will stop. We're resetting the animation. Now here's the thing, we reset the animation state, see? I'll have to drag it over a bit faster, but 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. So, and again, that's not exactly the way that we'll necessarily use it in the game, but it's an example of what that's letting us do. So when an animation cycle finishes, if we've defined a callback, we can get a callback, and then we can change things, right? We can, so in the case of the bonus is going to show up, it's going to float up, and then it's going to disappear, right? We'll disable the actor, actually. So in this case here, what we would say is actor flags, and then we would take the actor enabled bit off. And so now the actor, we're done with it, right? Not only is the animation stopped, but we don't want that actor to show up at all anymore. So we could also, you could use this to start in, oops, so I totally just missed that. You could use this to totally start new animations on other actors, right? So now that actor has been completely disabled and it's not being considered in the loop anymore at all. So again, you can kind of think about this like when Mario gets the hammer and he's in hammer mode, or when we hammer a barrel and the barrel is going to disappear, right? These are cases where having this callback functionality is going to be really important. We're going to need it. So that was one of the main things I think we're still missing, from the actor system, but now it's there, so that's great. And we got a couple of additional actors in, and then I realized my tile data is off. So I think our next step is going to be then to fix the tile ripper. And then once we get tile data that's not missing tiles, or sprite data, I should say, then we should be good. So let's review what we've done. So in the video C file, I just did a formatting change here because I realized I hadn't tabbed that over properly. In state machine, as an example, right? Again, we'll get the sprite tiles fixed, and then we'll get more of these done. But we're slowly building out additional actors, right? So we've got the oil barrel, we've got the oil fire on the barrel. We've got our little bonus thing that floats up and disappears. We added callback capabilities to animations. And so we just talked about that. And then in the actor header file, I added an include for standard Boolean. We added oil barrel, oil fire, and actor bonus. We added the bonus animation types, the Mario climbing, Mario hammer, die, Pauline, the barrel rolling, Donkey Kong, and the barrel stuff. We got a couple of them done. We'll do more. and I added a forward declaration for the actor T type def. And then I created a pointer to a function type def. Returned the function pointer has a Boolean return type. The type is called actor anim callback T, and it accepts an actor T pointer as a parameter. And then I added that field to our actor structure. And then in the actor module, we added the animation for the bonus. This is using the wrong tile at the moment. We have to fix that. But this is an example of using one tile, but then moving the offset from frame to frame. So this gives us like a little float, right? If we could even like move it a little back and forth on X, which might be cool. Now again, the original arcade did not do that, but you know, we make some changes. We added the oil barrel animation, which is just one frame. It's just the oil barrel itself. We added the oil fire animation. We're actually missing a frame for this. So again, once we fix the tile data, a lot of this should pop back into place. But it's not too bad. And to kind of compensate, I'm horizontally flipping one of them so it doesn't look so bad. And then I renamed the Mario actor to S Mario actor, bonus actor, our oil barrel actor, and our oil fire actor. And then we just add each of these. Every new actor we create, we just add a pointer to that actor to our S actors array. This is what the actor update function loops through. And then instead of having a constant to track the size of it, I changed this to now have a sentinel at the end, which is typically what this is called. When you have a special value that means at the end or whatever, it's typically called a sentinel. So in this case, we're just using null. And so then in actor update, we just loop. There's no condition on the loop. We grab the next actor. If it's null, we hit the sentinel, we're done. This code was not checking for the enabled flag, and it should, so I added that check in. And then my logic here I needed to change the way that this worked. So the way this reads now is if the actor frame is less than the actor frame count minus 1 because we're 0 based, then we can still increment the frame. Otherwise, we're at a reset point. We reset the frame number to 0, and we check to see if we have an animation callback. If we do, we execute the animation callback, passing in a pointer to ourselves. If this returns false, that means the callback is telling the update system, the actor system, this animation's done. So then we reset the animation state. And then because the state could be reset, we have to check now to see if the actor still has an animation. If it does, then we update the tick just like we normally would. And then our actor accessor function, we changed the name, and then we added in some new actors to get pointers for. And then for our animation, actor animation, none now sets it to null. And then we've got bonus 1, and then we've got placeholders for all of our other animations that we're going to be doing. And then animation for oil barrel and oil fire, those return back pointers to those. And that was it. All right. So I'm going to push that up to the GitHub repository. And I think that's going to do it for this episode. So for episode 7, we need to fix the tile ripper And then once we've done that, then we can continue on and get the rest of these put in. And you can see kind of how the process is going to work. We've got the callback functionality now on actors for animations. So that means we can start doing conditional execution of things based on when animation cycles complete. Yeah, so we'll get the other animations in here and then all the other actors in here, get those all working. Once those are done, then we can go back to the tile map editing functionality, which is kind of like half done, and then we can finish that. And then we can lay out our remaining tile maps, have the tile map data file. I don't know if you remember from episode 5, we talked about that a little bit. We can have that functionality working to where we can edit tile maps, in the game and load and save them from disk, and then start really seriously putting the game together. So yeah, should be some exciting stuff. So all right, as always, this is YouTube exclusive content. So if you like this, please, comment, share, like this on YouTube. If you like my content, you like my channel, consider subscribing. I appreciate that. It helps YouTube to know that you value the content on the channel and that they should recommend it to more people. So that would be great. And if you would like to join me someday on my Twitch stream, I stream Monday through Saturday, 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. Mountain Time. If you go to my Twitch channel page, twitch.tv/nybbles.io, NYBBLESIO, there's information there about my schedule and projects that I'm working on. So lots of good stuff there. All right, that'll do it. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye.